What's up guys? In today's video I'm going to go over using any aftermarket optical drive with the original Xbox. This is useful if your OEM optical drive's laser has gone out and you want to flash a BIOS to a mod chip using an installer disk. Now this method will not read original Xbox game discs, but it will read ISOs from a burned DVD. So we will be able to read our OGXBox installer disk and format the hard drive, install a dashboard, and anything else we need to do. There are ways to mod the Xbox without needing a working optical drive, but if you have a Molex power splitter and a spare DVD drive, it's not too difficult to get an installer disk running. So, before we start, let's go over everything we're going to need. First, a modded Xbox. This Xbox has an Aladdin X2 mod chip installed, an IDE drive or a SATA drive with an IDE adapter, similar to the ones used to upgrade the hard drive. This is the only drive I have, this Samsung SD616. And I believe to use SATA, the ribbon cable needs to be upgraded as well. This is an IDE drive, so the Xbox's ribbon cable will be fine. Some IDE drives can be flashed to work exactly the same as a factory drive like this one. This is an SD616T, but that's not necessary for this method. Next we need a Molex power splitter with one male end and two female ends like the StarTech one. One male, two females. Next, the burned installer disk we want to read. This is OGXBox installer 2021 with Sir BIOS. Any random DVD, I'll be using Spaceballs, and this will be left in the OEM drive. That's going to tell the Xbox to look for disk information, which it'll be pulling from our slave drive. I'll go over that when we get further along. Also, we need a T20 and a T10 Torx head screwdriver, and needle nose pliers, and maybe a paper clip. Alright, let's start disassembling the console. First, we need to flip the console upside down. Also make sure all the cables are unplugged. Then remove the 4 rubber feet. And with the T20 screwdriver, remove the 4 screws we just exposed. Sorry for the shaky footage. I didn't realize this table was moving so much. And we have 2 more screws underneath the label. And the serial number sticker. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Flip back over. And free the top shell. And we can set this off to the side. We're done with the T20. The rest of the screws will be T10. There are 2 T10 screws at the front of the console, here. And here. And one more underneath the IDE cable. Now, removing the T10 screws is not necessary, but I find it makes things getting unplugged a little easier. Next, I like to remove the power cable from its track. And lift this whole tray up and slightly to the right. Like that. I also like to remove the hard drive from the tray. There are 4 T10 screws holding it in. 2 on this side. And 2 on this side. Alright, now we have some room to work. Start by unplugging the power from the hard drive. Leave the IDE plugged in there. Next, the IDE cable from the disk drive. There we go. And this yellow cable will need to stay plugged into the Xbox's disk drive. Now we can just kind of set everything back into place. Put our hard drive back down. Making sure we put the cable back in the hole there. And we're all set to hook up our DVD drive. Now on the back of the IDE drive, make sure it's a DVD drive. We need to make sure it's in slave mode. If you look at the back of the drive, we have a diagram of what our pinouts are. This is the one we need. That corresponds to these pins. This white clip bridges 2 pins together and tells the drive how to behave. So on our diagram, we need to find the slave pins. Master, slave, cable select. So we need our jumper on the center pins. Looks like we're set to master. Let's grab our needle nose pliers and simply pull it straight out and insert it into the middle. There. Now our disk drive can supplement our OEM drive. Now let's plug one female end of the Molex splitter into the disk drive. There we go. And again, make sure to leave the yellow cable plugged into the OEM drive, but the IDE cable will plug into our aftermarket drive. And we can set it down on top of the OEM like so. Next, we need to plug the other Molex female into the hard drive. Try not to be rough with the hard drive since we unfastened it. Finally, our male will plug into the power cable coming from the power supply. Alright, we're all wired up and ready to plug our console in. I'm going to go ahead and say this. I am not responsible if you harm yourself or your console. This is relatively safe, but we are turning on an open console here. If you short something or shove your fingers down here, you will run the risk of shocking yourself. There's some high voltages underneath this hard drive caddy. As long as you're smart about it, you should be fine. You have been warned. Okay, let's plug in our TV. And our power cable. Okay, let's plug our controller in and turn on our Xbox. Now, as you can see, I have a custom BIOS already flashed. This works if you have the pink UX boot screen or any other BIOS on your mod chip. I also changed my dashboard to XBMC using this method. First, we need to open the stock drive and put our random DVD in. If your OEM drive is stuck, you'll need a paper clip. If you look just below the disk tray, there's a small hole. Insert the paper clip until you feel a little resistance. While the tray is trying to open, push with the paper clip to assist the tray. So our goal here is to get the Xbox to boot into the installer disk. With the typical Xbox, you would turn on the console while the disk is inside the closed tray. I was not able to do this with my aftermarket drive. The only way I was able to boot into my installer disk was to open the tray, insert the installer disk, and turn off the console with the disk tray still open. Now you'll notice when I power on the Xbox, the disk tray will automatically close. And it does take a little bit of time for the Xbox to read, so just wait a minute or so. This method can also work if you have an error code 16 or any error codes associated with the drives. There is a distinct sound difference when the disk starts reading. Usually when the screen fades out like this, it's a good sign, but as you can see, we just get a black screen. Still like to give the Xbox a little bit of time. This doesn't sound like it's reading. Well, it looks like we failed this boot, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the console. The disk tray doesn't want to open, so I'll set up again here. No, I had the best luck turning on the console just as the tray is closing, pushing the eject button on my aftermarket drive, just like that. Gonna let this sit for a minute or so. Like I said, some disk drives may behave differently. This is the only one I have access to, so I didn't test extensively. If anyone has any different results, please leave them down in the comments. The disk sounds like it's fully spinning now, which is a good sign. And there's the fade. And there we go. The Xbox is now reading our installer disk. From here we can use the installer disk as normal to flash a mod chip, format the hard drive, install a dashboard, or anything else you may want to do with an installer disk. The Aladdin chip I installed on this Xbox did not have a BIOS, and I was able to flash it using this method. I hope this video was informative, as I had to search and troubleshoot a lot of this information from old forums and dead websites. This may be a little outdated of a solution for today, but it's still quite effective. I plan on making a video of me turning the Samsung drive into a 1-to-1 replacement drive for this Xbox, so look for that in the future. If you have any more information or experience using this method, please leave a comment down below to help others who may benefit from it. Good luck with your mods, and thanks for watching.